So, the 2024 Ford Mustang, codename S650, goes, I think you guessed it, it's... Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Motor Verdict. I am your judge. This right here is the verdict, and on our right hand side is the defendant, the 2024 semi-new revamped Ford Mustang, also codenamed S650. And this car has one hell of an audience and jury to please. From the get-go, I just want to say this. I don't think us car fanatics understand the significance or appreciate the significance of this car. Maybe some do, but I don't believe it's being emphasized enough. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. And for a car fanatic like me, it's changing even faster, need I say. Literally 4 to 5 years ago, I used to get excited to read which of the muscle car is the best. But from next year on, I might wake up to rumors of the reviving of either one of the dying duos, the Camaro, rest in peace, or the Challenger. Need I say more? And I am very angry. I am very angry at GM. I am very angry at Chrysler Group. Why are you killing such iconic cars? You are hurting us. You are hurting us. However, you see, I have no choice but to like the 2024 Ford Mustang. And boy, I am liking the 2024 Ford Mustang. But not for the reasons that you think. And not for it being the first pick of the bunch either. But for its resiliency. For never giving up on us. For listening to the clients instead of listening to the corporate demand. For standing bold and strong for all the car enthusiasts in the world. And last but not least, for being the only muscle car still representing us who love muscles. One hell of a job, Ford. For that, kudos. Since 1964, Ford has never stopped the production of this baby. And now we are on a 7th generation, and that's a huge milestone in itself. It's still eating lightning and crapping thunder in the streets of Detroit and bellowing the sound of hope for all IC engines all over the world and haunting its European and Asian rivals, holding the flag of American muscles, high and bold. Ford has released this 2024 Mustang with 3 trims. Trim number 1, the EcoBoost. Trim number 2, the Mustang GT. Trim number 3 is the Dark Horse, which is new to the entire package. Now, each trim has its own engine. The EcoBoost comes with a 2.3 EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder, which has an output of 315 horsepower and 350 pounds-feet of torque from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. All right, and then you get the GT, which comes with a 5.0 liter V8, which I love. So this 5.0 liter V8 produces 480 in a normal GT, and if you put a sport package, I suppose a sport exhaust, it can produce around 486 horsepower with an output of 415 pound-feet of torque from 0 to 100 to 60, I believe, in 4.3 seconds. And then you get the special, which is the track variant of the trims, which is the 5.0 liter Coyote V8 producing 500 horsepower with with a torque output of 418. Now, for the for the Dark Horse, need I say it is the most powerful engine which Ford has ever produced or placed in the Ford Mustang. And that's good. That's brilliant. So I commend Ford for keeping this V8. We all love the Coyote, and now that it's in 4th generation, it sounds like a monster. It's one beast of an engine. So kudos to Ford for maintaining the 5.0 liter Coyote. We all love this engine, and now it sounds even much better, especially in the era which we are at right now, where everything is being toned down and downsized, and Ford stuck with its heritage. Ford. Before I proceed, please subscribe and please comment and like. If you don't like, please dislike, but please do something. Don't just watch the video without subscribing. Now guys, we can all agree on one thing. The first generation Ford Mustang is probably one of the best looking cars out there. Even until today, its classical design, I am sure, was revolutionary, because I haven't seen anybody who sees that car and just keeps quiet. It's a beautiful car, and I'm sure everybody loves that. Whether you love Challengers, whether you like Chargers, whether you like Camaros, whether you love Pontiacs, it doesn't matter which muscle car you love. We can all agree that the 1964 and from them, first generation and second generation of Ford Mustang are some of the best looking cars in the world. Now, taking that aside, for most of the time, I never liked the Mustang design. I just had no connection to it. You understand? Maybe because by the time I started liking cars, I fell more in love with the Camaro, especially the 2011 and so forth of the variations of the Camaro. So by then, when the Mustang launched, I think it's 5th generation, I was not the biggest fan of it. I didn't like the Mustang. I didn't like the 5th and 6th generation. But however, when the facelift of the 6th generation came out, I'm talking about the standard Mustang. When the facelift was launched, I kind of started thinking that, you know what, the Ford Mustang is starting to look good. Because initially when the 5th generation was launched, the 6th generation was launched, the design itself was in comparison with the Camaros, and I loved more the Camaros back then. I was so in love with Camaros because, for me it looked much better. And for me, the Mustang designers and engineers, they felt very lazy. I think many people can agree with that even the interior of the Mustang and the driving dynamics of the Mustang, everything just felt so lazy and so laid down. So I didn't like the Mustang design. However, I did really respect the design philosophy of the GT350. The Shelby GT350 was like, you know what, this is something I can actually put it up there with the Camaros, because it started to look good. But not including the Shelby GT500, because until now, I believe that's one of the newest, best looking Ford Mustang out there. I put it on top there with one of the best looking Camaros that I've ever seen. Although I will always prefer a Camaro, but I must just admit it, the Shelby GT500 is one of the best looking muscle cars in the world today. You understand? Not better than some of the Camaros that I like, but it's just one of the best looking Ford Mustangs out there. Now, going back to the general design, the facelift of the S550 was one of the good looking Mustangs out there. And then now that the S6 650s out, I can tell you straight that I really like the design philosophy of this car. If you were compared to the facelift of the previous generation with the 7th generation, I believe that the designs are basically in pars. They look like, you know what, you can pick either and you will still shine. Let us discuss the front design of the 2024 Mustang. Now, need I say that you get 3 trims. You get the Eco, you get the GT, and you get the Dark Horse. The GT, I think, will be the one where everybody's gonna buy, where most of everybody's gonna buy. And the Dark Horse will be the special edition where once in a while you see it with someone, but I'm sure everybody will buy the GT. So now, what do I think of the GT? I like the GT. I sincerely like the GT. I would buy it without thinking 4 times and say, you know what, I prefer this over Challenger or over Camaro. First, because there isn't much competition out there, because Camaro hasn't done or won't do anything about the further generation. So I think as a muscle car and maintaining to its heritage, I think that 2024 Mustang kept its looks quite decent. You cannot mistaken it with anything besides a Mustang. I'm talking clear, I'm specifically talking about the front of the car. It looks interesting, it looks good with that big grille, with those thinner headlights. I mean, it looks menacing. It goes in proportion with the sound that it has. The car is aggressive and it looks a little bit squatty, you know, like it's squatting. So I think most people who love sports cars love a car that is squatting and looking aggressive. And the car is aggressive. It looks good. Now, if you were to upgrade to the Dark Horse, personally, I don't think the Dark Horse is as good looking as a GT. I'm talking about the front. I believe that the GT looks better than a Dark Horse in front, especially without all those exaggerated black lines, blacked out parts of the front design. I think Ford could have done something different without emphasizing on the darkening of the front. It kind of looked like a cheap version of the GT. But overall, the lower section of the front looks good. The headlights look good. And the general design of the front grille of the Mustang looks good. It's not the biggest. I mean, for me, it is quite wild because I never used to like Mustangs. So I think this is a very good design philosophy for Ford Mustang, and it's a good direction which they're heading. And I'm sure there will be many updates coming, and I can't wait to see how these updates will be. So Ford Mustang, for the front design alone, I'll give you guys, because you're a sports car, you know what, I'll give you a 3.5 rating for your front design. So well done. I like how this design philosophy is going. I like it. It still is recognizable as a Mustang, yet it is modernized. So Ford, well done for your design philosophy of the front design philosophy of the 2024 Ford Mustang. Side design of the 2024 Ford Mustang. Guys, I know Ford Mustang guys will hate me for saying this. I know people who love the Mustang will really dislike what I'm about to say right now. But let us be honest. The 2024 Ford Mustang side design philosophy has borrowed so much from the Camaro, the current generation Camaro. You cannot argue until you put them side by side and start seeing how the Mustang, especially from the S550 to the S650, how much similar the car on a side profile is similar to the Camaro. Listen guys, whether you agree or you don't agree, just look at the overall design philosophy of the 2024 Ford Mustang. The car itself has become much cleaner. less busy lines on the side and less busy line over the bonnet. The car is much smoother now. And then if you go to the Camaro SS, you can see that this same design philosophy was already there and Ford carried it over. And that's good because I personally love the Camaro design philosophy. And not only are the side panels smoother in comparison to the previous gen on the Mustang, you also see how there is some sort of like a line that begins from the C-pillar and it contours the rear smaller glass and it goes all the way to the front. It is kind of a similar design which was already done by the Camaro. If you look at the rear haunch of the 2024 Ford Mustang, in fact, many people are complaining or commenting on that, saying that it's very Camaro-ish. So that's another aspect which we can all agree on, that Ford has, okay, let's say, learned from the Camaro. So what else? If you look at the smoothness of the side of the 2024 Ford Mustang, it clearly is an evolution from the previous one. Because even if you look at the previous generation, the S550, you could see that it has a similar design to actually the first generation of the Mustang. It had those muscle indentation on the side that are very similar to the first generation Ford Mustang. But the new one has got no design philosophy which has mimicked the first generation. So it is safe to say that they have drawn a lot of inspiration from the Camaro. And that's good. You can argue as much as you want, but for me that's good, because since the Camaro is dying, at least I have something which I can run towards, you understand? And that's the 2024 Ford Mustang, if one day I'll be able to afford one, you see. So that's the side design philosophy for me. What's the rating of the side design of the 2024 Ford Mustang? I would rate this design philosophy, if I won't lie to you, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. And I know it's a simple car, it's just a Ford Mustang. Regardless of whether it's a simple car or whether it's a Ford Mustang or whether it's a Beetle, it looks good. That's all that matters to me. It looks good. So Ford Mustang side design philosophy, 5 out of 5. Thank God for the Camaro inspiration on you guys. Otherwise, it could have been a 3. So kudos to Ford for the side design philosophy. Tire and wheel design of the 2024 Mustang. I'm disappointed. I am disappointed with all the wheel options of the 2024 Ford Mustang. They suck. Maybe Ford has decided to go on this function over form philosophy. I don't know if it makes sense. Maybe let me put it, function over look philosophy. Okay, yes, you may like those wheels, but personally, I completely think these wheels on the 2024 Mustang, all the options, they are not attractive. 2, they are small. Ford only gives most of their wheel options. They come with 19-inch rims. 19, that's small. Even if you put the car, like if you see the car from the side, there is a big gap there. And I mean, why Ford? This is 2021. Why did you have to keep why did you have to keep 19-inch rims? Like you could have done 20s. I know you have one option for the GT, which is 20-inch. Yeah, I think it's just one option that is 20-inch. But just why one? Like, couldn't you find young people who could design some of the best looking rims for this car? I mean, I know people will get they'll go aftermarket for wheels and everything, but you could have done a better job. It's not everybody that likes to customize the cars. So Ford, no man, no, please man, please Please increase the sizes of your rims and please do a better job on wheel design. Yes, they can be light, they can be magnesium, they can be carbon fiber. Just do something. Like, I haven't seen that Ford Mustang with attractive wheels. I have no, even the sixth, fifth, fourth generation, I have never seen a Mustang with attractive wheel. Yes, they can be functional. They can be light, they can be whatever it is that you want to dedicate towards it, but it's not attractive. And I personally believe that wheels of a car can make or break the car. And besides the side looking good, I think you did a terrible job on the rims. You did a terrible job. Come on, man. Learn from the Germans. Learn from Camaro. Learn from the Challengers. Please, man. It's not like you cannot, because you have done so much good and then you just let me down on these wheels. They suck. Wheel design, 2 out of 5. That's my rating. And final. You suck on your wheel design, Ford. And I'm sorry for all the Mustang fan club, but they suck. Do whatever it is that you want with it. And on that point, guys, I even forgot to mention, where do you guys think, before I reach the end, where do you guys think that the Ford Mustang is gonna go on this board right here? Do you think it's Holy Grail, cool, okay, or uncool? Please state your opinions down below. Please, guys, please, and do not forget to suggest so that I can improve and I can do better on, I can pick better cars just for you guys. So please don't forget to comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please like, if possible, share. Please, guys, and hit that bell so that you can, every time I post or upload a video, you guys can instantly get the notification of it. So where do you guys think this car goes? Rear end design philosophy of the 2024 Ford Mustang. Now, the car has 2 interesting trims for the rear design, the GT and the Dark Horse. In short, the Dark Horse just looks way much better. Why? It's menacing, it's imposing, and it looks very racy like. And I'm sure every guy who likes sports, who likes sports cars, obviously they will lean towards the rear of the Dark Horse. The GT is a car which most people will buy, I suppose, so it looks quite good. It was for marketing reasons as to why they made one more aggressive than the other one. They could have given it that rear, but I suppose that's for people to buy the Dark Horse trim of the Ford Mustang. So it's okay. It's okay. The GT is okay. I'm sure when you get, you upgrade to the performance package, you might have a little bit more aggressiveness integrated to the design, but I don't think it will be as aggressive as the design philosophy of the Dark Horse. I really do like the design of the Dark Horse. The bottom section, the diffuser, looks way much better. It looks way much more aggressive with this huge quad exhaust, while the top is similar to all of them except for the badge. The badge now is written there, obviously. There you got the one is written GT and one has the Dark Horse emblem. So it's okay. The Dark Horse is much cooler. But one thing to complain, why did Ford do that V cutout, that indentation there? Why did they do that? I don't understand why. Of all that they've done, I think for me that was like, I know. But I'm saying this because I'm seeing it in pictures. It looks weird in pictures, but real life it might look interesting and cool. Okay, but it doesn't remove the stance. It doesn't nullify the aggressive looking of the rear, but it's something that I wouldn't have done. Why am I saying that? Because the S550 rear design for me was just much better. I liked how the lines were straight. It made sense to my eyes, and it looked sort of like acceptable in society. You know, it looked modern. It didn't look like something that would age terribly. You understand? It looked quite cool. So yeah, I would still prefer the lights and the design of the S650 if we're talking about the rear top section. But the bottom, I think the S650, especially the Dark Horse variant, did good. So well done. 4 out of 5 for your rear design. 4 out of 5. I mean, it looks as good as many sports cars, many supercars. You understand? So well done to Ford for that, and well done to the designers for the overall package. Now, what do I think about the interior of this generation? The 7th generation Ford Mustang has fallen into the same trends as every other 2022 upwards car design philosophy. The interior of this car is just, it's unattractive. I'm sorry. It's unattractive. You know, why couldn't you do something fancier with the interior instead of just stamping us with 2 huge tablets? Why, Ford? Why? Like, even if you were to integrate the screens and do something fancy around them, make them slimmer, it just... No, man, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. You have moved the vents to the bottom or to the center bottom. I mean, yeah, which sort of like look like you were trying to do the Camaro thing, you know, because I know the Camaro, they have the vents at the bottom there, which looks cool. But yours, it looks hideous. Those 2 screens, especially if you get I think the higher trim where it's one piece of screen, it's hideous. I am sorry, Ford, it's hideous. Most people may find that beautiful because yes, we are on a new generation and we all like to have huge screens. But come on, man, it's gonna age ugly. It's ugly. The interior of this car, especially the dash, the front side. I'm not saying the seats are ugly because the seats do look good, you know, especially if the higher you go on the specs, the more beautiful the car will look. But just those huge screens, oh man. What is happening to the car industry? What is happening? What is happening? Like, are these people lazy? What's happening? Like, is it cheaper? I don't know what's... Anyways, I don't like it. Simple and easy. I don't like it. You know, I still prefer those 2 tablets, in fact, other than having one full piece. It's ugly. You know, you could have, like, have you seen the previous gen Ford? Why couldn't you just modernize the S550 interior? Especially the one that came with the GT500, sorry. Why couldn't you do that? Why couldn't you take because for a long time you've stuck to a similar design philosophy, and then all of a sudden now you dump us with 2 huge screens, and you're thinking it's because we're young. I mean, young people don't care about 2 huge screens. Young people like something that looks cool. Make it look cool. So the interior, I'm sorry, Ford, 2 out of 5. I don't like it. 2 out of 5. But it's my opinion. I repeat, it's my opinion. Subjective, completely subjective. It's hideous. 2 out of 5. If you change that and integrate it with the design, make it look interesting and attractive, maybe one day I'll change my opinion. Because I know this is the entry level. You may be testing the waters. I know you will improve. But those screens, no. You could have done a better job. Learn from other people, please. Please, not only you, Ford. This is a philosophy that most cars today are following. So it's not your fault, but I'm sorry, it's hideous. That's my final opinion. 2 out of 5. Overall design philosophy of this car is interesting to cool. Not even cool on board, as in it's a cool design, it's a cool update of the S550. You know, although this car comes with the same chassis, I assume it has a lot of trinkets because it wasn't a full, like it wasn't a brand new car. They've taken most of the previous generation's internal parts and just upgraded it to the S650, and they've done a good job. You understand? They have made it more beautiful, more modern, and they have done a lot of interesting. They have taken different parts from all some of the muscle cars that are out there and have incorporated it within this car. And they have modernized the interior and obviously the outside. It looks sleeker. I don't know if it makes sense. It looks much more sophisticated in comparison to the S550. So the general design of this car is cool. It is cool. The design I like. Although I hate the wheels, although I hate the interior, and what else? That indentation at the back. But the cohesive package is very cool. And being the last of its kind, I'm talking pony, the last of its kind, it makes it even more attractive, you know. And being one of the few entry-level sports cars that still has a V8 on it, that they're not trying to run away into smaller engines, makes it even more attractive. The fact that it's one of the few cars with manuals out there, I heard, makes it very attractive. And just for the icing on the for the cherry on the you know, whatever it is, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. It has one of the coolest badges out there. That dark horse badge that Ford has done, that alone makes it one of the coolest cars I have seen. So Ford, well done. You know, instead of investing so much money on your badges, invest more money on your wheels and your interior. For that badge, oh man, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so menacing. The dark horse, I know it's the go-to. Just give us bigger wheels and change the front. Then I'm telling you, you'd have one in the interior. Obviously, you have one of the coolest cars out there, and it will be like there for me with the which Camaro, which I'll mention whenever I do the video, and with the Germans. So Ford, overall, well done. And thank you. I think it's more significant than well done. The gratitude for you listening to your clients, not giving up. And please never give up. Continue. Even if you have to put a 4-liter biturbo, what. Even if you have to make it a 4-wheel drive, you have to hybridize it. Please do not give up on your customers. The Mustang has to live on. My children's children must own a muscle car. If I work hard and then I get it, you understand. But someone must have a muscle car. You know, please Ford. And thank you. Namaste. So now let's give let's throw the ball to the courtroom. What do you guys think? What do you guys find of the defendant? What do you guys think that the judge will decide? Because you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what's coming next. You definitely know what's coming next. Where? Where do you think? Do you think it's Holy Grail? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's okay? Top? Bottom? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Because you know what time is it. You know what time is it. It's time for me to judge to give the defendant for the judge and the jury to give our verdict. So I have the verdict right here. No, I have the defendant right here with me, and he wants to know, where does he go? Where do you think the defendant goes? do you think is uncool, okay, cool, or holy grail? What do you guys think? What do you think this defendant here, the 2024 Ford Mustang, goes? Well, the jury and the judge has made up its mind. But before I can place this guy somewhere, I would like you guys just to comment down below, subscribe, please like, or agree or disagree with my final verdict. So, the 2024 Ford Mustang, codename S650, goes, I think you guessed it, it's top, you crazy bastard. It's here. 2024 Ford Mustang goes bottom cool. It is a cool car. We all know it's definitely a cool car. It's the entry level of the sports cars in America. It's affordable and it can get very expensive. And we all know that. So Ford Mustang, entry level, and I'm sure you know that there are other variants that might creep up all the way to the top. But for the 2024 Ford Mustang, the general one, you know, the GT, the dark horse and everything, is bottom cool. I know I gave it a 3.5 and probably it's not okay or top okay. It's because going through everything that the car industry, this transition that the car industry is going through, this car, I think, has stood its ground really well. And it's cool. We all know it's cool. And besides, it's the last of its breed. It's the last of its breed. If it had competition, I think it would have been a different argument. But do you guys agree? All you Ford Mustangs fans right there, do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Please let me know in the comments. That's the conclusion. And the case is adjourned. Well done, Ford. The jury and the judge finds you cool. Oh, should I?